The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the New Media Factory. Some programs on this network might include strong images and language and may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Would you come if I asked you to ride with me on this one-way road that leads? Oh, I don't know, but I will take you anywhere you see. I know what you need, and what you got is exactly what I
Good evening, welcome to Counterflow. Hi, I'm James Deacon.
I'm Angel Rivero.
I'm Alan Sevilla.
And Pacho Blanco. Oh, I'm outside the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, much better.
All right.
He's
Okay.
outside the camera, but beyond the box.
Yeah, there you go.
Where we're broadcasting
That was
live from.
awesome.
It's a nice one, huh?
Wordplay.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing with me for that.
We have
We're
to do
beyond the
something about
box
that.
where we're broadcasting to you live from, and this is Counterflow, the first dedicated motoring program on radio, which is now a podcast because we just couldn't afford the airtime. And we are here for about another 45 minutes or so. We got a few promos that we should get out of the way first.
Okay. It's a sale
It's
happening
a
here
sale,
at Beyond the
but
Box.
You know
What is
what?
it?
You can
What
just
sale?
go. There's a sale. They're having a sale here at Beyond the Box.
Oh.
Yeah, like remember, like about a day after you bought your wife's iPod, they
I know, that was so bad.
Yeah, they gave.
Don't remind me that.
So now the
it
discounts are available. You can check the Facebook page of NMF Network, and you can see, right? Oh, Beyond the Box Facebook page. Right, we'll get right one day. Okay, so never let the facts get in the way of a good story. Let's go. What's up, boys?
What's up, Pacho? You've been dynoing a lot of cars, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, doing some little things and everything. We actually just finished building one vintage race car.
Okay.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it belongs to Camus, Bubi Camus. And then, we did the cylinder heads, we did the exhaust system.
What's the car first?
Sorry.
I was wondering what the
Yeah,
car was.
it's like,
Like,
okay.
what vintage car?
We went straight
Do you remember?
the engine.
Do you remember that Snuffleupagus car
Ah, wait.
from drifting? Remember the car never show up?
Yeah. That's the one.
No. I just remember that one. That was a time, we were supposed to be drifting with James, and then
We'd be waiting there and waiting.
where's the car? Where's the car?
Okay.
No, you guys
Never
show up
came.
in Clark at 8 a.m. So we are
Yeah.
there at 8 a.m.
Okay.
11 a.m. Where's the car? Car is coming. Just wait. Just wait. The car is coming. Okay. Let's have lunch. Okay, we have lunch. Oh, man, we have a really long lunch. It's already 2 p.m. Let's go back, Maybe they're waiting for us. We go there. Where's the car? The car is coming. It will be here in any time. 5 p.m.
What is this like?
Guys,
What?
let's meet tomorrow 8 a.m. again. And then the car should be here.
Where is the car coming from?
Well, I don't know.
From
the Mayans
Angeles.
predicted it was coming.
Yeah, but anyways, it's a different thing. It's a Lola T70 though. Later on we will talk with we have Bubi here. We're gonna be talking about that one. But I want to show one of the videos of the sound of the engine, man. This thing is really awesome.
All right, let's go. Let's check it out.
Okay, let's check it out.
How much your the pedal low there. That's it. It's a little. Oh, how you like the sound?
Are we? How much is that putting out? Did you dyno it yet?
God willing, we're gonna dyno next week.
What are you expecting to get out of it?
Well, I'm
Aside from your fee, your talent fee. What are you expecting to get out of the car?
That was nice.
You got to watch this guy, huh?
Well, you know what? If we get the same power as the brand new Camaro, I'm pretty happy.
So
Though.
420?
I don't know. That's what they say. Sorry, no. But I mean,
At the wheel, it's around
320.
320. Okay.
320. All right. Well, that would be great. Now, we'll talk to Bubi about that later, about where to race it, etc.
yeah, exactly. And then other things I wanted to mention is, the 2 weekends ago, There was the first drifting leg, the novice drifting leg. Remember, David was here with us.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he was
Did
telling
you
me
join,
everything.
James?
No,
Because
no,
I heard
no,
that James
I-
was.
sadly, I couldn't go.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. There was only one drifter, one lady drifter. You know.
Yeah, I saw.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Her name is. I always see her.
Tintin.
Tintin. Yeah. That's
Filipino?
Is she from Cebu? The one from Cebu.
I'm not so sure.
Okay.
Okay.
The only thing is, she might be joining us next week for her to talk about it and everything.
Good.
But she won first
Yeah, I
place.
saw that.
She won first place.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw her on the podium. Yeah,
Wow.
second was
Struan was second.
yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah. So it was really good. Also on drag racing, the same weekend there was a drag race event. Congrats to H3. Now they have the new Philippine record in drag racing.
What is the Philippine record? The new
9.01.
Wow.
Jonathan.
Oh, really?
What
Yeah.
car is this, Pacho?
Honda.
Chopped Honda?
Yeah, it's a
Honda
tubular chassis.
Veyron.
It's a tubular chassis on a Integra. Putting out 850 horsepower with a 4-cylinder Honda engine. And then, they give me a call, say, Pacho, thanks a lot for all the help. And then, we got a new record. And then I also got a call from Tew. Hey, they got the record. What are we going to do about it? Jonathan had the record since 2005.
Yes,
Until now.
I remember.
And
It's
in
a
his
long
previous
reign.
record, I mean, it was so tiny because Jonathan Tew got a 9.02. They got a 9.01.
Oh, my.
Oh my God.
So that's what 1/10? No,
1/10
one
of a second.
100th. 100th or 10th?
100th of a second.
100th of a second.
Yeah, that's
Well,
it.
there you go.
Yeah,
Well,
so
that
that's
is
that's
just-
what's been happening right now in the local scene. And then, there is on the second weekend, second weekend of April, is going to start the GT races. A lot of people joining GT300, GT200 also. So, well, we'll see. There's a lot of new people in the GT300. We'll see how it's going to be. There are different rules now. They are allowing the two-wheel cars to have bigger tires for the loss of the grip on traction, stuff like that. But I don't know. Personally, I don't really agree with that rule. It's way too much advantage for the
All right.
front-wheel drives.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, let's go one by one and see what everyone's up to. I'll go right to left, left to right. Alan.
Oh, I was just with you, James. Yesterday, we were able to
I know
drive.
that. You know that.
Yeah, we were able
They
to
don't know
drive.
that.
No, what I meant is we were able to drive the new Mercedes Benz. Oh, okay. we can talk about
it's an
that.
embargo.
Oh, okay, all right.
Remember
Oh,
last time we
okay.
had an embargo?
Oh, all right. Okay.
We had to
so
kick
we can
Kevin
talk
out.
about
Remember
that.
when he
but
said?
there were other cars on hand.
He did. He had.
He
Yeah.
spilled the beans.
He spilled the beans. I corrected him. He said words you're not supposed to say on air. And remember this?
Okay.
Yes, it's reminded.
I don't remember.
Classic.
Can you remind me about
You
it?
blocked it out of your memory.
Yeah, you
Remember?
probably did.
Never mind. Never mind. We won't go back there. Angel.
Okay, well, last week we had this Nissan Almera drive. We went over to Bataan and via Cove in Bagak, Bataan.
Love that place.
Oh, you've been
one
there.
Of my, I love Bagak. It's one of my favorite holiday destinations.
Yes, it's real nice. It's like nestled within the forest of Subic, so you could have like the random monkey crossing the street, and you see like the school of bats and
No,
everything.
sorry. This is Anbaya.
And via Cove.
Okay, but that's not quite Bagak yet.
Oh, I don't know, because
Yeah,
that's
no,
what
no, but-
the address says, like in
Wow.
Bagak, Bataan.
Bagak is what I'm familiar with. Bagak is Montemar and that old house place that you went to.
Las Casas Filipinas?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Maybe
that
it's
one.
like still within the border.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I always thought it was Zambale. No. Could be. You can anyway.
Yeah,
Go on.
it
Go
should
on.
be within.
We digress.
Yeah, you're right. Well, anyway, it was like a fun day. It was an overnight event,
Mm-hmm.
and basically the event was comprised of several aspects. So there was, of course, the fuel efficiency drive, because they are sort of like banking on the fuel efficiency of the Almera.
I'm interested to know what those figures are and what parameters, etc. Go on.
Okay, and then the other aspect was sort of like an amazing race / fun run where we had to like get clues and then accomplish a task and then like be the first team to get there. My favorite exercise though was the Almera Squeeze.
I think that was more the guy's favorite. if you hear about what happened, I think they got more out of it than you did. Check this out.
The Almera Squeeze basically is a game where you're supposed to fit in as many people as possible in the car and close the doors. And of course, in the trunk, you're also supposed to put in like luggage and stuff. So basically, our team won, and we fit in 12 people.
Oh my
In
God.
the Almera.
And ask where Angel was.
Oh, you want to know where I was? I was on the dashboard.
Oh
I was
my
like
God.
swimming on the dashboard,
Oh
like
my
lechon. Yeah, and I still had so much room. Like another angel could have fit in right next to me, and we would have been two angel lechons on the dashboard.
Were you there too? Were you inside the car, Jay?
No. We
Actually,
were
for a game like that, I don't think I'm a very good player, right?
No. Not a good candidate.
No.
We went to the one in Sagada for Forester. Drove the new Forester. So that was what were your figures in the Almera for fuel consumption?
I think the winning team got like 25 point something kilometers to a liter.
Now, what conditions were those? Was that
So they had air conditioning with the thermostat on full, like the coldest possible, and then it was at number 1 for the fan. All windows rolled up, of course,
Okay.
and automatics.
is this within Subic?
What cars?
It Nissan Almera.
How'd you find driving the Almera? I was able to drive it, and to be honest, in that segment, it's one of the comfiest
It's big.
Goldbacks.
It's
Yeah,
very
it's huge.
roomy. I was surprised with
I was
the
also
leg
surprised at
room.
the room.
Although
I was
it's
like,
pretty
whoa.
close to the Vias. I mean, in terms of looks,
A little bit generic, I
Yeah.
find the look, but it's got some good features. I know it's got like a rear vent as well.
Yes, it does have the rear
that's
vent,
correct,
so
that's
like people
correct.
in the back, and if it's like really mainit, like.
And there are 2 variants, if I'm not mistaken. Because the other one that I saw was bare, but
Yes, you're right.
that
you're
was
right.
the one. They only have one engine, right? The 1.5.
The
engine.
1.5.
Yeah.
Okay, but so with the 1.5, 25 kilometers, you said?
25 point something.
Point something in where? Was this around Subic or was this just down the hill? Or?
It was highway driving.
Wow, okay.
Okay, it started at in one of the Total stations on the North
On the
Expressway,
Lex.
and then it ended in somewhere in Subic in another Total station. So it was basically highway driving, and of course no
But
traffic.
this is NLX SE Tex.
Yes,
Because
yes,
the
you're
SE
right.
Tex is got some hills.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly, that's yeah.
And then you can get better fuel consumption. Okay, let's say if you're coming from Subic to Clark, you get a better fuel consumption than going the other way around.
Why?
There is more inclination on.
So it's okay.
Yeah, it's more
Okay.
inclined. Yeah, and like if you take also the start toll going to Batangas, from South Expressway start toll to Lipa, you get a lot of better fuel consumption. From Lipa to Manila,
Yeah, you're right.
better than the other way around, by far.
By far.
I was able to drive a Ford
By Star?
Focus. Yeah, start toll.
By Star.
By far.
By far,
Star.
okay.
Yeah. What is the new word again? Sorry.
Equivalent.
Thank you very much.
Equivalent.
There we go.
Equivalent. Yeah.
So that equivalates.
It equivalates to.
All right. Just to equivalate this one, I was gonna tell you.
Talk about taking a fake word and putting it out of context. It's bad enough it's fake. It's out of context, pa? Okay.
Well, we will equivalate this, okay? I was driving a Ford Focus, the diesel.
Okay.
Is this the
Yeah, from manual diesel. From Lipa to Start Toll, I was able to achieve 50 kilometers to a liter.
Wow.
It's
Who was
almost everything
pushing?
It's almost everything.
Who was
downhill.
pushing?
Someone was pushing the car.
No. And then I was doing. I was not doing really normal driving. I was really,
Babying the car, yeah.
yeah, pushing it to the maximum. Like if I see downhill, just put it in neutral.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then, but I was with aircon and everything. But yeah, we were able to achieve that one. 50 kilometers to a liter.
And then going the other way was?
The best that we got was 20.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah. 22.
That's intense.
That's intense. Well, all right. So, I've also got some news aside from going to Sagada with the Forester, which is really, really quite cool. we were able to test drive the cars over 1,200 kilometers.
Okay.
How is it, James? I
Well,
really want to know.
I'm glad
compared
to finally because I tested the Forester in Taiwan.
Okay.
And we flew all the way there, and then we rode a bus for like 2.5 hours to an empty car park, and we probably drove it for 1.3 kilometers. That's
What?
it. That's it. That's all. That was the
around
entire
the
test.
I just want you to
Swamp.
see it.
They just want us to see it, and then and it was in a controlled, strangled pylon and all that. So it's like, we didn't really get to test it.
Yeah.
So anyway, this time, 1,200 kilometers, you get to know a car after 12 kilometers. And you get to know your car mates, too.
Ah, who is your car
You're the
mate?
only one who drove. That's why. Because you
No,
really
no.
You were in a hurry going back home. That's what I heard.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
He was hogging
See, and
the
then you're talking-
driver's seat.
What are you talking about my driving?
Huh?
What are you talking about my driving?
Yeah, but I was able to drive going back. I was like, sorry, I'm in a hurry. So I kind of went until it got to where,
Balintawak? Is that what you?
yeah, somewhere near Balintawak. It's like,
Oh, you check it out. You know,
Yeah.
that's James driving. That was James.
that was me coming out from, that's one hell of a Forester, huh? Yeah. So anyway, I drove back. Yeah, once I got to Balintawak, I handed the reins over to Inigo Rosas. Because it's traffic now.
And that was like 5 minutes away from his house in Quezon City.
He's like
Good job.
I didn't know that.
believe
Yeah, sorry, I missed that part. And so the poor guy had to sit through the Friday payday traffic. And but okay,
man.
the Forester, I think I'm divided on the looks. I'm not that.
Same here. I
I
still
kind of
like
prefer
the
the
old
old
one,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Same
you missed the scoop.
I miss the scoop. I find the proportions just not, and the last one was not exactly a handsome car to begin with. So, it was okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
it
an
was-
SUV, I think it's.
I mean,
a handsome
it's not
SUV.
quite as stylish as, let's say, the Sportage, Kia Sport, just like that. But it's
Yeah.
that they were never Subarus were never sold on their looks, right? It was always more about the engineering, etc. So aside from the looks, it's improved in every single way. I think the biggest improvement's actually the non-turbo, because they're both 2-liter. There's no more 2.5. And it's non-turbo versions that seem to get the most improvement. I think it has to do with, one, direct injection, etc. And number two, I think the CVT, which I'm not a big fan of, actually works in this car. It's a good example of CVT. And it takes a lot for me to say...
Like the XV. Like
It's
the
exactly
XV.
like the XV.
Ah,
So
I see.
it's a decent one. It doesn't have that annoying droning effect. It's got a good sports mode, and you still have SI Sharp, which is good, even on the base model. You have and it firms everything up and makes the transmission a bit more responsive.
The older one didn't have that.
No,
yeah.
the STIs only, I think,
Oh,
started to
okay,
get them,
that's
and
why I was
the
wondering.
Outback,
SI.
I think.
Okay.
But the lower models, no, they didn't have the SI. So now they have the button there. Okay, but the big news for me, all right, so anyway, we went to Sagada, very, very long drive,
And you passed by Baguio.
and we passed by Baguio, and we were practically neighbors in Subic, because we stayed one night in Subic.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Exactly, on the same day that you guys went up.
Oh, cool.
So we were there, and long drive, and comfortable, great interior, fantastic interior.
Is it bigger this
It's a
time?
bit bigger,
Okay.
and it's improved in every way. Even if they're just incremental improvements, it's in everything, from interior to power to transmission. Because I was going to say, if you're going to complain about CVT, anything's better than a 4-speed auto, because that's what they had before. So you really feel it.
Yeah.
But my big news, which
What is
is
it now? 5?
Fuel consumption. That's what I'm interested.
Oh, fuel
in.
consumption, yeah.
With the 2.5
okay.
turbo.
I was monitoring it on mixed conditions.
On the way back?
On the way back.
highway,
That's the
James.
real
It was mostly highway, but no, I think I got a fair, because there was a little off-road, there was a little highway, there was a little, I think it was a fair thing to say that I got 12, about 8 with the XT,
Wow.
and then about 11 with the...
That's a big improvement.
And we're
because-
driving.
yeah.
I mean, we're not in a. We're keeping up with each other. So those were with bursts to 200 and 180,
That's
200.
a huge improvement,
Yeah,
James.
it
Because
was.
Back then, once you step on the gas of the Forester Turbo, you can see it.
Pababa na yung ano? Oh my God.
There's a direct connection to your wallet.
Thirsty.
You can-
Such a thirsty vehicle.
Yeah, it was, and even if you babied that car, but now it's an improvement. It is an improvement. But here's my big news, and this is breaking on Counterflow. Nobody knows this.
All right.
Nobody knows this. Actually, I hope my wife's not watching because I haven't told her. Are we live? Okay. Maybe I should wait.
No, just only between us.
Just between us. All right. I have been invited to cover the historical moment of the very first Filipino driver to test Formula 1.
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Slow clap.
That is
Slow clap.
Wow.
Slow clap. Marlon Stockinger, who is racing now for the Renault World Series, has been invited by the Lotus team for an official F1 test. He'll be given 350 kilometers or miles in Paul Ricard circuit in the south of France. He'll be given 4 sets of tires, and it is an official evaluation.
How does it work? Is there like a minimum time he has to like achieve?
No.
or-
Well, yes, of course.
It's a competition, if I'm
no,
not
it's
mistaken, right?
it's an evaluation. When you give you an F1 test, it's not like
you have to see how he preserved the car, what is the feedback he give to the engineers. You know, I mean, all the skills involved on a race car driver, though.
it's a proper
just
test.
only
It's
the
not
time.
like he won a competition, like he bought a lot of Rexona because that's their sponsor, and mailed the wrappers in, and then they said, "Hey, you got
It's
to win."
not like James, everything. I won, really, the raffle.
So this guy was given a proper. He is part of the Lotus F1 junior team. So he's already in training for F1. So they're already training him for. He's got the same. What do you call it? Physio and sports trainer as Roman Grosjean, and so he's also being trained for media. He's being trained for driving, everything. And he's one of the only ones, and he's the only one of that 7 that has been given the F1 test. So this means if he performs well and he keeps it shiny side up, and he does not follow his Kuya Romain Grosjean, and like put into sand or anything like that, the possibilities of him being given an F1 seat are very, very high because they have a test driver position, of course, and they could also farm him out to the lower teams, like
definitely.
like Marussia and
That's cool.
Caterham and stuff like that.
Fantastic. The first Filipino.
The first Filipino to ever test Formula, because I drove a Formula 1 car, but that was more like a raffle. You see, that's a good example of they let me drive a Formula 1 car, but that's for publicity purposes, and they weren't evaluating me to drive for the team.
Thank God.
Thank God. This is a proper.
When is this, James?
This is going to be in April 2.
Wow.
So I'm going to just fly to Europe basically for a day and come straight back. Yeah. That's how, but I didn't want to miss out on this opportunity.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
there's no other, I'm the only one from the Philippines going for media to cover this event, which is completely, I mean, it's a milestone. We're making history right now.
Exactly.
And I'm going to be given full access with the team, and I'll be able to just follow him everywhere. In fact, matter of fact, I'm meeting him in Zurich.
Please don't disturb him when he's driving, buddy. I mean, don't blow it up for him.
Yeah. You know how talkative James is.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. It's like, man, please, I mean, you look, everybody, like every time he gets closer to a F1 driver, you just go downhill. Juan Montoya.
No, Alonso's doing well.
Oh, he's making a great comeback this year. I think it's going to be a good.
But yeah, how exciting is that? Marlon Stockinger, first Filipino to ever get an F1
We've waited
test.
so long for this.
Yeah,
fantastic.
it
So
is.
this
It
is
is
just
beyond
great
fantastic.
news.
So what I'll be doing is I'll be just updating and tweeting and Facebooking and blogging and whatever every step of the way. As you know, so I'll be apparently the plan is I'll meet them in Zurich and we'll drive together.
Wow.
From Zurich to the south of France. Yeah. I want to see how fast an F1 driver can drive to the south of France.
Yeah.
So there, we'll meet there, and then I'll meet them up with the family, and we'll drive together, and then we'll do the test, and then I pretty much just fly straight out. It's a whirlwind trip, but it'll be all worthwhile.
That's really
Wow.
cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so what? Time for F1?
Time for F1.
Let's not forget this.
He's our guest
Yeah,
is
let's
going to be.
talk also about the Lola and then the F1 and everything, though. Look at the other videos. You can see how fast the RPM of that car goes up.
Wow. And wow, Pacho shrunk. Wow.
Look at Alan.
Honey, I shrunk the host. What's your name?
Manu.
And you introduce your dad?
My dad is Bubi Camus.
All right. Now, so is this true what I hear that you know a lot about F1?
Yes.
All right. So who's your favorite driver?
Fernando Alonso.
Okay, you can
he
stay.
knows how to pick.
You can stay. You can take Tito Pacho's slot for good. Okay. All right. What did you think of that first race?
It was good.
It was good, huh?
With the facial expression, right?
Would
It
you
was
think?
good.
Would you agree with me that that was probably the most exciting race without a safety car and an incident that we've seen in a long, long time? Well, it's been a long time since we've seen F1, so it's the first race. You can agree. All right. Okay, so let's see who. Did you watch the race too?
Yeah, I was able to watch it with him.
Wasn't it just a fantastic start to the season?
Yeah, it was pretty good. A lot of interesting strategies with the new Pirelli tires. You know, a lot of the teams had to make 3 stops, but it seems that the ones that saved their tires more had an advantage.
Had an advantage. I thought, okay, star of the race for me was Kimi, of
Yes.
course. Sutil, I think, did really well.
After a year absent from the sport.
18 months, actually. Yeah. He had an 18-month ban.
That's right.
And I noticed that you should have seen these guys racing, and Vettel was stuck behind Kimi Vettel was stuck behind Sutil for so long.
Yes.
And one would almost imagine, is he scared to overtake him because he thinks when he gets to the paddock, he's going to get glassed with a champagne glass? Because that's what happened with Sutil. Do you know this is the backstory?
No.
Adrian Sutil is Force India driver, a very good driver at that. And at the end of the season in Shanghai, they were partying in the nightclub.
Yes.
And next thing, had an argument with the boss of Renault.
Okay.
And stabbed him in the nightclub.
No way. With what?
Yeah.
With a glass. He's,
Oh my god.
yeah, like
That's so freaking
karaoke
wild.
style, my way style. Here, go to any, and just stabbed him, stitches.
Yeah.
So he was given a
Holy
€170,000 fine and banned for 18 months, and then brought back. That's why they were like, no, I don't need to pass you. You're okay there. All the drivers are just scared of him.
And the interesting thing was when he came up to Hamilton, because Hamilton was in the nightclub. They were good friends, Sutil and Hamilton.
Very good friends.
And then after that incident, they sort of,
It was different.
yeah.
It was very different because Hamilton was supposed to testify for Sutil, and he didn't show up. And Sutil publicly called him a coward and said, But Hamilton, I guess, just didn't want to get involved in the controversy anymore.
Yes.
But eventually, Hamilton, they've. I don't know if they patched up. Hamilton supposedly emailed him a couple of times, said he's very glad he's back in F1. He never answered those emails.
So it's one big mess.
Yeah, it's one big mess. It's like one big telenovela.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Okay, speaking of Hamilton, under a lot of criticism, right?
Yeah.
Going to Mercedes.
Yeah.
How would you rate his performance?
It's funny, right? How do you think Hamilton
You can jump
did?
in anytime.
He did okay.
Okay.
I think he did pretty good.
He beat his
Yes.
teammate
Yeah.
on his
Yes.
first run.
Yeah.
Well, his teammate was out.
His teammate was out, but he was what? He qualified third to sixth. Rosberg was sixth.
No, Rosberg, I think, yeah, he was 6.
Yeah, for qualifying he was third, and then there was Alonso and Massa, and then Rosberg was after that in sixth place. So he outqualified him, and then he outraced him because when Rosberg had the battery problem, Hamilton was still ahead of him
That's
in,
right.
in the race. So you could make a good argument that he would have finished the race ahead because he didn't have any other incidents.
Yeah.
I think it was a dream start because if he doesn't feel great and if he doesn't feel flattered by his performance or his decision, just look where the McLarens were and he'll be like,
Yeah.
I made the
A lot
right
of people
move.
thought he made the wrong decision, but I think it's turning out that he made the right decision.
I
Yes.
think we should give more credit to the drivers when they do stuff like this. They gave Alonso grief as well when he moved to McLaren. Why would a double world champion leave? And he announced his exit of Renault in 2005. So he raced with them a full season with an announcement that he was leaving. So he's racing in a team when they know he's going to lead, and yet he won that year.
And so
again.
they're like, oh, he won.
And he won it, yeah.
Okay.
And so people were like saying, what are you doing? Are you crazy? I mean, Renault is so strong. And McLaren weren't exactly doing that great, but he did it. Now, it turned out to be only a bad decision because of Hamilton and Ron Dennis, where, there was a little love triangle happening somewhere there. It's become a real chismis show now, huh? First with getting stacked. You're still in the room? You're
It's
still in the room. All right. So basically, how could you foresee that? Because as far as teams go, it was a good decision because McLaren were the strongest team that year.
Yes.
Renault also had gone from this full backing of the manufacturer. He knew something was up. The money, the commitment. Carlos Ghosn was not committing to being part of the team, wishy-washy. So these drivers know this. Now, Ross Brawn has hired Aldo Costa, Rory Byrne, basically the dream team that gave Michael his 5 world championships.
Yeah.
All 7 world championship. The dream team,
That's right.
because Benetton days as
Renault.
well.
Yeah, from Benetton.
That dream team is now with Mercedes. And Mercedes have had 3 years to get their act together. So they got the money, and they've got the 3 years under their belt. So this could definitely be their season.
Yeah, it makes me wonder though. What did McLaren do? Because I feel that they probably had the fastest car last year. I mean, Red Bull maybe in the race was strong, but in qualifying they were always up there. McLaren was always up there, and then they come up with a car this year that has no qualifying pace.
I'm also dumbfounded. For me personally, I know it's going to sound a bit rough, but I don't have that much faith in Sam Michael. Because when he went to Williams kind of went down. They never really. And then as soon as he left Williams and went to McLaren, McLaren started suffering, and Williams did really well last year.
Yes.
I don't know if it's just sheer coincidence. How could it be? I mean, you wouldn't want to be that on your resume. I mean, everywhere you go, disaster follows. Yeah, so I don't know if it's got anything to do with them because they're such a big organization that it shouldn't really be dependent on just one guy.
Yeah.
But they haven't seemed to have gotten the complete package together.
Yeah.
I think they're going to struggle this year.
Because there are really not much changes from the rules last year.
None, except for DRS.
Yes. So you'd think that the car this year would be more of an evolution of last year's
Absolutely.
car.
In fact, the only technical changes that I believe are vanity, I call it vanity vanes or planes, basically to hide that double step nose.
Yes,
they
that's
can
right.
do a little but it's all purely for vanity, just to hide how ugly it is.
Yeah.
But there's that, and there's a slight increase in weight. Because they have to allow for. There's something else you have to allow for. So there's a slight allowance extra in weight.
And the tires.
The tires, thank you. It's for the tires. The new compound of tires has added a little extra weight to the car. So they've made the adjustment but everyone's in the same playing field. And yeah, you're right. I think it should have been an evolution.
Yeah.
All right. Fernando Alonso, did he do well this race?
Yes.
You think the Ferrari was good enough for second place or was not good enough for second place, but he put it in there?
They were good for second place. In fact, they're leading the constructors.
Well, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Now, Massa, what do you think about that situation with Massa? Do you think he was robbed? Because he feels he was robbed. He feels he was robbed because the team gave Alonso the better pit stop window in lap 20. And had they pulled him in lap 20, he would have also, because he got stuck behind Sutil and Vettel.
The thing is about Massa is that you have to remember last year, who was the one that was pulling the team, pushing them to win races? It was Alonso. And Massa sort of, when the car started getting better, then he got better.
It's true. I 100% agree. And I don't think that they can call team orders in this one because Massa out-qualified Alonso by, you said 100th of a second, right? 3,000ths of a second.
Exactly.
3,000ths.
Thousands.
Thousandths. I mean, it was like 406 to 409.
Yeah.
Something like that. And
Alonso blinked somewhere.
yeah, exactly. Or the wind changed. I don't know. It was just so minor, but it's still one spot. ahead of him, and he held that spot. And I think Alonso had a slightly better start than Massa, but had
Yes.
nowhere to go. But that's racing. And Massa, I think, soaked up the pressure brilliantly.
Yeah.
And there were no team orders coming over because Alonso had the measure in him a couple of times. I thought, whoop, this is it. He's going to take him. But he couldn't make it stick. And so Massa was fighting tooth and nail. I think he even locked up a couple of times just to really defend. And Alonso, this is, for me, the difference between a world champion driver and a great driver. Like a world champion versus a contender. A world champion is not just a one-dimensional driver. He's not just built for speed. This guy can sort of think on the fly. Yeah.
Is there a bias? I like Alonso.
He's off mic, so you can't hear him. So there's a crazy guy in the corner talking to himself. We just throw him change and it's coins, and he'll keep quiet. So Alonso, instead of throwing a tantrum, like I think Vettel would have thrown a tantrum. Yeah. I personally think that had that been Vettel and Weber, I think that Vettel would have probably gotten on the radio, hey, tell him to move aside because, I'm faster, etc. Alonso, I think, learned from that one time when I think it was the German Grand Prix, Hockenheim or somewhere where there was a lot of controversy when he says, I'm faster than him.
Yeah.
Instead, he tried to, and he thought, I'm only going to do two things here, burn my tires and slow myself down. So he backed off a little bit, and then he changed his pit strategy.
Yes.
And that's a world champion. And then he leapfrogged them in the pits. He did the undercut, and the way he went to second place. And Massa was in what place?
What place?
I don't remember.
You just told me earlier on. He wasn't third, he was.
He wasn't on the podium, but he was fourth.
Yeah.
He was fourth place, which is
Fourth
why
place.
they're leading the Constructors' Championship. All right.
With 30 points.
By what?
They have 30 points?
Yes.
By 30 points. Or they have 30 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ferrari does.
Which is pretty good. Pretty good way to start the season, considering that this time last year, Ferrari were in a very, very bad place.
Yeah.
They didn't even make it to Q3
by
memory. And Ferrari is known for developing the car all through the season. So if they can develop the car the way they normally do, and they start like this, there's a good chance.
Yeah, because they're not using their wind tunnels now. They're using Toyota's wind tunnels, which are much better than theirs.
Wow, that hurts. That hurts.
They
I mean,
accepted it.
if the old man was alive, I can just picture him. I always pictured it because Enzo Ferrari just was all about racing.
Yeah.
The road cars were just to fund his racing. That's all it was.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, seriously. He was just like, he had to put together these road cars just so he could get enough money to go racing. And everything was about racing. And the passion, it was just incredible passion. And I can just imagine the poor guy going, what do you mean a fizzy drink company beat me? Eh? What is this a fizzy drink? Red who? Red Bull. It's not even a car. I mean, hello.
That's right. It's not
That
even
hurts.
a car.
The worst thing is a bull, like Lamborghini.
That's true. But this is not... These guys, their core competence is they make a soft drink.
Yeah.
They don't make a racing car or a Lamborghini. These are not supposed to be competitors. And the guy who's driving barely has hit puberty and is still beating them. That hurts. That really, really hurts. So there. The takeoff of Weber was very embarrassing because it was a McLaren-supplied ECU that fouled up.
Yeah.
McLaren issued an apology. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They said something reset in the garage
Yes.
and forcing them to reset on the formation lap, I believe. They lost data to the car, and he had that. You can't. There's so much involved in an F1 start. The clutch bite and the revs and everything, and that's what failed.
Actually, I was talking to Pacho about that, because in the early days they had launch control, right? Which basically you step on the accelerator.
Like PlayStation.
Yeah.
I just keep my foot on the gas, and when you see the revs, the 5 lights go out, and pop, you're off to a perfect start.
And you go, right? And the computer takes care of it.
Yeah.
Now what they do, since they're not allowed to use that, is that they have test starts and they measure the grip. They measure how much you slip, the tire slips. And then the engineer will radio Weber and say, all the information goes back via telemetry.
Yeah, on that formation lap.
Yes. And then the engineer is supposed to radio back Weber and say, okay, set the clutch to this setting. And that should be good enough for you to start. But it's funny because they took away the launch control, but somehow it's still there. It's just that the computer isn't doing it directly.
Yeah.
It's through the driver.
And the engineer.
Yes.
And the actual engineer. Very interesting. But yeah, that's what happened in the to answer Pacho's or Snuffleupagus over there in the corner. Because they can't see you, they can't hear you. So
Maybe Snuffleupagus should stay here.
Yeah, he should.
Use my mic. I think so.
and we got 5 minutes.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, join us.
Yeah.
Come, let's join us. Come on. Don't be shy. Here we go. I want to see you squirm when we talk about Alonso.
Sabay mantra, right?
So who is your favorite?
Manok?
Yeah, your Manok.
Manok? Okay, I really
Juan
like...
Pablo Montoya.
No, you just don't talk about that guy, right? No, because he just quit, and then, I mean, you know, he went out of F1 only because he knew he's going to get kicked out.
Yes, that's true.
That's really
true.
Yeah.
In fact, the story goes that in Indianapolis, when he got... Do you remember Juan Pablo Montoya?
Yes.
Okay. This guy is...
So that's why you make me sit here. You don't talk about Juan
exactly.
Montoya.
So
That's so cool.
Juan Pablo Montoya...
Much appreciated.
He had this first lap incident. He was getting beaten by Kimi, and he didn't like this. He wasn't used to this. So it bothered him and messed with his head, and he just couldn't get... He couldn't get to be as fast as Kimi because he was just undisciplined. He had the raw natural talent. He had all of that. And in fact, probably the most natural talent of any driver at that time in the field. But he just lacked the discipline. He lacked the work ethic. And so he couldn't match Kimi. They had that first corner disaster in Indianapolis where I think he took out something like 5 or 8 cars. It was so bad, and it was so Hail Mary, that move, you know, when you make a Hail Mary move, you know that one?
What's a Hail Mary?
A Hail Mary move is you just go down and you just close your eyes and just pray it'll stick, you know? Because you're not thinking anymore. You just go, I'm just going to dive down here, and I'm just going to Hail Mary for the greatest one. And when I finish my prayer, it's a leap of faith. And that's what he did, and 8 cars went out or something like that. He got out of the car. He went into the safety car, whatever medical car or motorcycles that brought him. He didn't even go back to the paddock. He left without saying goodbye to the team. He went straight to Chip Ganassi and did a deal. Never even said goodbye. Yeah. So that's why Pacho is offended by him, and rightfully so.
Definitely.
I agree.
And, okay, now I like Hamilton.
Hamilton is turning out to be...
And then Hamilton is being a good racer for me. You know, he was a very young guy, but, you know, with a lot of experience. I saw him, you know, in McLaren, how he developed the cars. I saw how quick he learned. He learned a lot of things from Alonso. But even when they got to the point that Alonso didn't want to share telemetry with him anymore and anything, for 3 or 4 races, he was quicker than Alonso. So you can see that he can apply the thing that he can learn. Now, he's coming now to a team that, well, last year they didn't do anything. You know, there was a problems with the car or the driver, whatever. And then, he finished, you know, I mean, in the top 10 this year, first race. We'll see. Now it's going to show really how well he can develop a car or not. Because the development of the car, you know, I would say 60 to 70% has to be on the driver than in the engineering.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I agree. Now, okay, but this brings us to a very good question. We only got a couple of minutes left, so we'll wrap it up with this. Kimi, do you think he can sustain this? Or
what do you think? Was a lucky shot or Kimi?
I think he can sustain this, but he better watch out for the faster drivers.
You know he's talking about, right? Alonso.
Yeah.
But you know that I think...
I think Kimi can sustain it as long as they leave him alone.
Yes, as long as they leave him. Okay, this is a good topic because Kimi, I don't know if he has... I wouldn't call it luck, not that race, but Melbourne always throws up a strange result. We see more normal results in Europe, etc. So these flyaway races, sometimes it spits out the odd, hello, type of winner. But Kimi did everything right.
Yeah.
And it was perfect. I don't know if Lotus have the strength to carry that over a season.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. But you talked about sharing information and feedback. Kimi is notoriously very bad at that.
He is, yeah.
So
what do you mean? You think he has a problem with the communication? I don't really think so, you know.
Even in the press conference, he has a problem.
How was the race? Good. And then we saw that you have a really good takeoff and you were able to overtake here, that one. What can you say about it? Yeah, I was that way.
No, but he doesn't even say.
Okay.
That's how he talks. So anyway, it's not communication. I think it's just not his thing. But I have nothing else to back this up except a personal, what do you call it? It's a theory of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Kimmy's ever he's had the right car sometimes, but not the right team. I think he's finally got, if they sustain the car for the rest of the season, I think this is the best team for him. You know why? Because Ferrari and McLaren were just too buttoned down and no, you must be and debrief. If you can't get that out of a person, if that's not in them, you're just torturing them. It's like, really, leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. Really counts for Kimi, because I think the engineers at Lotus have said, you know what? This guy really isn't enough. Let's just work around it and just do what he does best and let him do that on a Sunday and a Saturday. And I think that's why we saw the engineers are just trying to now, work with as much as they can with him, but not forcing him.
Yeah.
So they're creating this environment, I think. That's a personal opinion for him to win.
Yeah, but it could be a problem if they just maintain the car or sustain the car, because...
Yeah, they have to make the car better.
Yeah,
They have to
exactly.
develop
Everybody's improving the cars, right? So,
and that's what I noticed with Lotus is that they always start out strong. I mean, the car, even in testing, you could see that it was a fast car with Grosjean and Kimi. But as the season goes on, the other teams seem to get a little faster than them. So,
yeah.
Well, speaking of being fast,
I know. But one last one, though. Manuel, what do you think? I mean, what are your predictions for this season? Championship and constructors?
I have no idea yet.
come
But
on.
more or less, what do you think is going to happen?
Just
The way you
start
see
out.
the season is starting.
Either the Red Bulls, or the Ferraris, or the Lotuses would win.
yeah, but who do you think, in your heart, who do you think is going to win?
I don't know yet.
Really?
I do. I really think it's Alonso's year. Sorry, I'm going to put it out there. I think it's Alonso's year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
For a long time we were feuding because I was always supporting the Ferraris and he was always supporting Alonso. But then when they got together, then we
Finally,
could have
there's harmony
peace.
in the house.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to leave it there because we've hit our own checkered flag. So I guess we'll have to pick it up next week. Sorry about that. But till next week, I'm James Deacon.
Pacho Blanco.
Angel Rivero.
Bubi Camus.
Manuel Camus.
And
All right, guys.
Alan
Thank you.
Ransomina.
God bless.
drive carefully.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.